What's up? So this is for the 4th of August. I haven't made a video in a little bit. First off, I forget when the last time I made a video was, but so it must have been FOMC. We had FOMC, and that was like a super clean day from last week. Like, just, it was money. We had a really clean draw on liquidity, a really clean model that I saw, and overall, it was just like the best day I've had in a while. After that, I have really tapered off in my execution. Now, on Friday of last week, I was basically just like, I don't think I should trade. Um, I ended up trading anyways, took a couple losses, and then took a win at the end of the day. But I have been trading completely against my model, and I've not been waiting for my exact model to reveal itself. And it's hard when these things start to happen to like figure out and diagnose exactly why you're doing that. Um, but I don't think that the root is what is the most important thing. I think it's the fact that it's happening that is the most important thing. And going back to doing things right and waiting for your entire model to present itself. Um, this was the first time basically ever that I have taken a trade on Sunday. So Sunday, right when we opened, I price was down in here. We had the new week opening gap, which got filled, and I just like, I don't know if it was on MQ. Yeah, as we see, all of this just absolute slop. I just like started taking these tiny little trades. I was like not risking anything. Um just really really dumb. I've never traded a Sunday in my life because why the why the fuck would I? Um anyways, so that happened, and then on Monday, so we get to Monday, then we see us rebalance. So so this is yesterday, Monday. Absolute picture perfect um opportunity that I saw on Monday morning, which I executed on twice, where we have all of this low resistance liquidity. And in the morning, we rebalance down. We fill basically the entire new week opening gap. So this is my Judas swing. Series of down close candles. We close above it. We close above the inverse. We've got buy side. We've got buy side. We've got buy side. All this buy side liquidity. And when we close to the change in the state, that is when I enter. Here's a 452. So basically at the bottom of this candle. So my position is basically like this. And then once we take out this high, there was a couple things. So on ES, we had a little bit further back. So here it is. On ES, there was all this stacked buy side. And we had basically already taken this. Now, this move, to me, is very clear manipulation. We are faking lower, and when we're closing up through this and all these for value gaps, we're clearly moving bullish. but I moved my stop to break even. I'm really not upset that I moved my stop to break even. I think it would have been okay to leave it. But I was just protecting myself. It was Monday. 10 o'clock was news, so we hadn't had the news come in yet. But I was like, I was extremely confident in all of this buy side getting ran. Now, we manipulate, and then internally, I see, this is what I see, so I'll delete this. I see us move down. We rebalance to the change in the state. We tap it to the tick. We close through this 30-second inverse. We close through this change in the state. That is when I go long. So my position is 4675 right here. And then as soon as we move up again, I just move my stop to break even. So there's a little bit of a process, basically a malfunction that I am doing, and it is literally just moving my stop to break even as soon as we take out the most recent high. So we see I go long. This was money. Second long was fine. And then I just keep going. So 1, 2, this one actually gets stopped out. I was just entering on the inverse here. 3, stop to break even. 4, stop to break even. 5, stop to break even. 6, and then 6 is what actually takes this top buy side, and that is when I take that position off. It was basically, we had this, so we had standard deviation. That was kind of where I just took this position off. But so this was a model. So 1, this was a model. This was not. This one we move lower, close up through this inverse. Never got the change in the state, so it wasn't my model. This one, I guess we close through the change in the state, but like at this point, after I take these two and we start delivering, I was just chasing price. I felt like I needed to be green on the day, which is really, really stupid. Like I had a draw on liquidity, my bias, everything was being supported, but I was just taking trade after trade. These are straight up revenge trades. Then we get to today where price opens and we're just moving higher. This one was honestly fine. Like, it wasn't great, but ES, we had all-time highs, which we were right here. So where were we? We were right here. So we end up moving lower. We take out this low, so there's basically a huge SMT between these two lows. We rebalance to the 3-minute. We rebalance to this order block. We are supporting the 5-minute for value gap. The 15, we react perfectly off of consequent encroachment of this recent wick that was prior. And yeah, like I said, we were right here, and all-time highs was right here. And I was kind of looking for a short, but I was like, okay, we're pressing to all-time highs. There's been all this shit about like the war, where now things are fine and like, oh, we're making a deal. And on top of that, on NQ, we take out this low right here, which we left on ES. So there's this huge SMT. This is so ugly when I look at that. And it's literally, that just shows me lack of discipline. So there's this huge SMT down here. On top of that, we have rebalanced to equilibrium, basically to the exact tick on the higher time frame. And then we have my model. So we made a huge move lower. We get this change in the state. We rebalance to it. We support it. We're supporting bullish order flow on the way up. The new week opening gap, we filled it and then have just been pressing higher ever since. We had all this buy side resting above that I wanted to see get taken. So I took this long today, like I said, which it wasn't great, but it was literally this inverse. So when it closed to the inverse, I was like, well, we're probably gonna go take this high. And we had, like I said, all-time highs that we were still drawing towards. And then there was this opening range gap that was still left in here. So I don't know. There was manipulation where we took an internal low. We were supporting the 5 minute, but really when price is already this deep into premium, I mean, we're probably like, I've seen this before. We rebalance to equilibrium on the higher time frame, and then we just are moving up, and we are not giving anyone a chance to get back in because we're just pressing higher and higher and higher and higher. This was still, to me, chasing price because the draw on liquidity, now I did have a draw. It was this gap and all-time highs. So I had a draw on liquidity. I was in at 495. So I was right here. I had moved my stop to break even. That is what I wanted to see from myself. Especially after we take all-time highs. Like, you don't want to be forcing yourself through all-time highs, but regardless. This, to me, I would rather this. Like, I'd take a trade, and then I am like, okay, I'm not going to chase price. I would rather that than I take a plus setup here, and then I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, however many more trades, especially after trading this many times on Sunday when time and price is not aligned. There's no reason for liquidity to be injected into the market. So overall, despite taking I would say this is a bad trade, I was able to say, okay, I'm not going to sit here and chase price and fucking try to end up green on the day. So that was all. I need to see a lot of structure get built. I still really think we're going to come and take these equal highs. This is such a clear draw on liquidity for me. But yeah, that was pretty much it for me today. I wanted to see us fill this opening range gap that we had left. We ended up doing it, but it was right after basically ticking me out of the market. And yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much it for me today. I have taken a decline in quality of trades and quality of my discipline. So that is something that I need to focus on moving forward because it is just, it's not what got me here. I have been doing really well. I've been like honestly blown away with the progress that I've made over the last few months in understanding what I'm looking for, in being patient in what I'm looking for. And when you are at that point, you feel like taking steps backwards and like missing a trade or being red on a day is like, oh, it means you're gonna go back to where you were, so you need to end green. And it's like, that's not true. You need to just do what got you to where you are, and you need to keep growing and getting better because that's the only way that you're going to continue to improve. It's not about, oh, I get to this point and then like that's all I need and then I'm done. It's like, no. you can be better. Like, I am not even close to where I want to be in terms of my discipline and my execution, and that excites me because I'm like, how fucking good can I be if I am so disciplined and I'm just taking like A plus setups and I'm super clued into the market? Like, I am, it gives me so much excitement to think about like, what does that look like for me? But that doesn't mean you have to like, that doesn't mean you have to force it. It's something that comes naturally when you are in a state where you're able to just receive price and you're not trying to force it. Um, so right now there's literally this. I look at this and I cringe. I look at this, I kind of cringe. I look at this on Sunday, I cringe. Um, so for the rest of the week, it's all about discipline. It's all about how can I be better than I was earlier in this week and yesterday and today, and that's waiting for price and time to align. Um, which obviously right now is not the case. Tomorrow, after two huge days like this, we might just keep getting bought back up. We might continue expanding this bullish leg, but there's really nothing for me where I need to force anything. There's going to be setups tomorrow. There's going to be setups the next day. There's going to be setups next week. There's going to be setups next month. Stuff is going to continue to print and give you opportunity to execute on, but you have to wait for it. You have to be patient. You have to just allow it to happen, because when you think something is going to happen and it has to happen, that is when you are going to burn accounts. That's when you lose a ton of work that you've put in with your psychology.
The market is closed.
Look at that, the market's closed. And yeah, you just, when does that actually close? You just, this is, I mean, these road bumps are not put in the way for no reason. They are here so that you can learn, so that you can grow, all of the above. So I'm excited to continue to grow and continue to just get better. And that's really all I can focus on, is the work that I'm putting in. So, adios.